David, welcome to the afternoon show.
Thanks, Joe.
So what has changed then?
Well, as you suggested, pretty much everything. And we hear this phrase, the new normal. I'm not sure that the old normal was that great to begin with. So I think there's certainly some very positive things have come on the back of this pandemic. Not diminishing the dreadful effect that it's had on people, but I think the world of work has changed. World of education is changing dramatically, and that's just part of it. The world of innovation has been the area I think that's seen the biggest change.
And do you think this is survival? I mean, like the human race, it can be shaken up, spat out, but it will reshape itself just in the name of survival.
Well, I think we are an incredibly ingenious species, and we're probably seeing more grassroots innovation because of the pandemic, simply because, necessity is the mother of invention. And we've seen some incredible acts of coordination and networking in ways that I think that governments haven't been able to match. The phrase I use in the book is communities are outperforming bureaucracies, and I really do believe that to be true.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you're listening to you, yes, and I remember all of these, the equivalent to food banks. People, we have beauty vloggers, and I know you'll think this is, very
No,
superficial,
not at
but
all. No.
they who are all sent this stuff and then started banks where they would take it to NHS workers, where the masks were causing all their skin to be aggravated, and these people sorted it out for themselves.
Correct. The great irony was we were all in lockdown. We were supposed to be unconnected, and yet communities were probably more connected, more looking out for each other than had been before lockdown.
But, and this is interesting, isn't it? Because we gave young people such a hard time over technology. Technology has rescued all of us during this. Telling them to get off their iPads, get off the computers and everything. It's actually rescued us. Where on earth would we have been without technology?
Quite. And we also have to recognise that left to their own devices, these young people are doing amazing things. The two largest public protests in the history of our species were organised in the past 2 years by a bunch of school kids. That's Greta Thunberg's school strikes and the Parklands, Florida kids who did the March for Life for gun control. And they did it because they're so hyper-connected now. And the technology is working for them. It's just not being reflected in the schools, because I look at what employers are looking for, and they're looking to see, how big is your personal network? How many people do you know? Well, many of these kids have enormous networks.
Oh my God, yes, I envy them. They do.
Yep.
They literally do. I mean, I can tell you, every walk of life, you're judged with how many followers you have.
Correct.
That's how it works. In this racket, in most rackets, how many followers do you have? And that's what you're judged by. Well, they've all started out with thousands. Those are their so-called friends, aren't they?
Exactly. And where's the GCSE in networking? It's just not being recognised and validated.
Gosh, I've got to read this book. It's called The Power of Us. It's out now. You must have got that out quickly.
Well, I'd actually finished writing the book in March, and I was working in Australia.
Oh my goodness, you must have had to rewrite that rapidly.
Yes,
didn't you?
that's right. I rewrote the whole book in 3 weeks.
You must have thought, there is a God. This is manna from heaven. This is validated. I mean, I'm sure it was a fantastic book beforehand, but it must have totally validated everything you were writing about.
It did, and it made me realise that, it wasn't the kind of deranged ramblings of a lunatic, that there actually was something in this.
It's so good to speak to you. Thank you, David Price
And you,
Obi.
Jo.
If you want to read the book, The Power of Us, fascinating reading, it is out now.